Welcome to People. I'm Jewel Hillary. A woman who delivered a baby in her car is accusing a hospital in Indiana of not providing her enough care in the hours before her birth. WGN's Sean Lewis has more.
Days after she gave birth, Mercedes Wells and her husband Leon are inside of a Chicago law firm contemplating action after what happened this weekend.
I already had the feeling something wasn't quite right.
Around midnight on Saturday into Sunday, she says they were on their way home when she went into labor with her fourth child 2 weeks early. They went to the closest hospital, Franciscan Health, Crown Points.
I was met with really stern faces, like no welcoming faces as I usually would get when I go to, a hospital or a place of care. I was 10 minutes apart with my contractions. By the time I got upstairs, it was about 8 minutes apart.
My daughter's in active labor.
These are the moments recorded about 6 hours after they had arrived. Mercedes' mom now behind the camera. The nurse told her she was being discharged, doctor's orders, after she says she never saw a doctor. The contractions at this point, she says, were 1 minute apart.
I was in excruciating pain. She seen me in pain and agony. No empathy. She didn't show any care as a usual nurse would.
But about 8 minutes later, as they were going toward another hospital, little Alina Wells was born, healthy, along the roadway.
It was God's grace. It's totally God's grace. I was scared. I didn't know what to do.
He shouldn't have never been in that situation.
Franciscan Health sending out this statement from its CEO, which says in part, "We understand the concern this has raised. The video is just one part of the information we are reviewing as part of a thorough investigation into this alleged incident." For Mercedes,
I almost felt like she wanted me to suffer.
it is something she never wants another person to go through.
I was stripped of my dignity as a person because I was treated less than an animal.
The family says they want to sit down with administrators to work on procedural changes that would prevent something like this from happening again. And of course, concerns about Black maternal health are not new. Dr. Kiera King is here to talk about it. Dr. King, thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right. So that video is just gut-wrenching to me in so many ways. My heart just drops for that family, a day that was supposed to be joyous and beautiful. Was the complete opposite. And I think this resurrects a discussion about Black maternal health care, and just many of the things that Black women face when they're pregnant and when they're in the process of giving birth. This should have never happened.
Absolutely. This should have never happened. This being her fourth child, her actively being in pain as she was wheeled out of the hospital are two things that just don't add up. And there are many things that could have been offered to her, that should have been offered to her before she was discharged from the hospital. They could have allowed her to stay a little bit longer in observation because she's clearly in pain and actively in labor. It's her fourth baby. It is well known that first babies can kind of, they may take a little time to come, but once a mom has delivered vaginally once, the second, third, fourth babies often come a lot faster. And a mom can go from only a couple of centimeters to being completely dilated. When I say in a matter of minutes, literally in a matter of minutes. And anyone who provides obstetric care, nursing, midwives, OB-GYN physicians, know that. And so that is why it's so disheartening to see this, because they know better. They should know better, and if they don't know better, that's an even bigger problem.
Yeah, and for women of color, particularly Black women who might be thinking about having babies, are pregnant right now, what are things that, and I know you don't want to, you said you don't want to incite fear, but it's about awareness. So what are things that they can be doing to try to navigate preventing something like this? And obviously this was a situation, that was not her plan to go to that hospital. But what is the type of plan that can be set in place, and things that people should watch out for and kind of like, okay, maybe I shouldn't go there, maybe I should try someone else?
I think one big thing is to note that Black women deserve to have empathetic and compassionate healthcare, especially, in the field of obstetrics, but all around. And so just being aware of what your options are. You, first of all, find a doctor, midwife, who you have a great rapport with, who listens to you actively. If you bring up concerns, you may not be pregnant yet, but maybe you're seeing them for a well-woman visit. When you bring up concerns to them, are they listening to you? Because you want someone that in your most vulnerable state, in a state that ideally will turn into one of your most joyous states, is going to hear you if you're in pain, if you have a concern, if something doesn't quite feel right about the pregnancy. Are they hearing you? Do your research. Talk to family and friends about their healthcare experiences. Who their obstetric care providers were, did they have great experiences? Check out the hospitals, go on a tour, go on a labor and delivery tour and see what they have to offer. Are you a person who is going to want to deliver and have a doula support? Doula support can be amazing for moms, as they can provide a level of advocacy that is specific to the obstetric world, that even if you have a husband or partner or mom or other family member or friend there with you supporting you through labor, they may not necessarily always know the ins and outs. And so someone like a doula being there as an additional support person can also be helpful. So there's lots of ways to have the right people by your side, to make sure the provider that you want to take care of you is there. And then just knowing you can ask questions. You have a voice and a say in your healthcare. Ask questions if you don't feel like you're being heard. Depending on where you are, especially if you're pregnant already, you can get a second opinion. Certainly if you're actively delivering, that may not be an option, but certainly in earlier stages, or if you're planning to conceive and you're trying to find a good fit, you don't just have to go to one place and say, okay, well, this is the only option for me. There are options, and you want to go somewhere where you feel your voice is heard.
And the situation with this family, I believe the Wells, this is not the only time that this has happened. There was another video recently of a woman who, was in active labor and nurse was seemingly ignoring her. You said that you have, had women reach out to you saying they've had this experience too.
Yeah.
So in spite of these horrible situations, do you think that there can be some light at the end of the tunnel with this in terms of awareness?
Absolutely. I never want to incite fear and make people think that these two scenarios obviously are very worthy of raising awareness, but they can potentially be fear-provoking, because if you're pregnant at this time and you see that, you're like, oh my God, is that going to happen to me? And I would say on the whole, that is not going to be the experience that the majority of people will have, but just know that you have the power to use your voice if that were to happen to you.
All right. Well, Dr. King, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you. We could talk about this for days for sure. Thank you for being here. You can find Dr. King on social media at Dr. Kiera King or online at drkieraking.com.